Hey guys, it's Melanie. Happy Thursday and welcome back to another round of in-depth candle reviews. Hope your day is off to a fantastic start. I have 3 more in-depth Kringle candle reviews that are ready to go for today. So we are just talking Kringle today here on my channel. And the first one here is from the latest Kringle Reserve launch, but the second 2 reviews are from the Kringle Classic Jar lineup for holiday 2024. So if you're interested in more just in-depth home fragrance reviews in general, definitely make sure you hit that subscribe button right below the video here. That way all of my future home fragrance related content will pop up in your subscription feed. Anyway, you guys, let's kick it off today with Kringle Reserve Cinnamon and Cedar. This is one of the fragrances that on cold sniff I was not crazy fond of. And honestly, now that I have burned it to, let's see, we're about 1/3 of the way down on this one, I still don't really love it. I do think there is gonna be a market for this one, but for this being a purely spice type fragrance, I feel like it's coming across as a slightly masculine, kind of almost cologne-y type of cinnamon and cedar, if you will. Yeah, I'm honestly a little bit surprised by this one. I thought it would transform a little bit more from cold sniff, but yeah, it's kind of coming across as like a personal fragrance more than anything else. So let's dig into it. So first we'll go through the scent description. We'll read through the fragrance notes. I'll tell you what I'm smelling now that I am kind of well into this one post-burn. We'll talk strength and throw and any potential burn issues, and we shall wrap it up. Okay, the scent description on this one is kind of funny because I think they just forgot to do one. If you go to the website, typically under these scent notes, you'll get like a cute little story where, you know, they kind of talk about some extra fragrance notes that maybe aren't necessarily mentioned in the actual top, middle, and base notes. But this one here, it literally reads cinnamon and cedar, dash cinnamon and cedar. I think you guys forgot to write the story for this one, but that's okay. The top notes here are wood and cinnamon. The mid notes are cedar and vanilla, and the base is musk and sandalwood. Now, looking at these notes, I do think it makes a little bit of sense that this one is coming across as maybe a little bit, I don't want to say cologne-y, that word just doesn't seem right. I'm gonna say perfumey, but just know that in this case, I mean, it smells like a masculine men's cologne. Like that's the vibe that I'm getting, but I'm gonna say perfumey. Okay, the top notes of wood and cinnamon. Yes, there is a woodiness to this. There is something that is quite heavy at the top, and it's not necessarily the cinnamon, which by the way, is kind of an interesting mix of a like both a gourmand cinnamon and a slightly borderline spicier, not quite red hot cinnamon, but definitely a little bit spicier than your typical more gourmand, like bakery edible type of cinnamon. The cedar is quite present in this, and I think it's the cedar maybe that's smelling really perfumey to me here. I think it has to be the cedar. It could potentially also be a little bit of the musk and the sandalwood at the base, but I feel like I'm getting a very masculine, like perfumey cedar note in here. There is nothing vanilla in this fragrance to my nose at all, so just get rid of that nose. Get rid of that note according to my nose. But the musk and the sandalwood. Yes, there is a sandalwood in here. Sandalwood is usually quite pretty and enjoyable to my nose, but it's kind of taking a back seat to this perfumey cedar in this one. So I don't know. I wish the sandalwood was cranked up a little bit. I think it would make it a little bit more enjoyable for me. and the musk. There truly is like an actual muskiness to this one that, again, I think is lending to that slightly perfumey vibe that I am getting from this one. Yeah, you guys, I don't really like this one. I do feel bad saying that, but like, you know, personal preferences are obviously going to vary from person to person. And this is not the type of cinnamon that I really personally enjoy. It is leaning into that slightly more spicy cinnamon category. And then if you combine that with the cedar, that heavy woodiness at the top, and then the musk and the sandalwood at the base, it's just, I don't know. I feel like if this one had a little more like actual spice to it other than the cinnamon, maybe if there was like a little bit of star anise in here or a little bit of cardamom, maybe even a dash of nutmeg, it would smell maybe a little more enjoyable in that respect. But yeah, I don't know. It's not my thing. I'm not gonna give it any thumbs up here. But if you like these more masculine fragrances from Kringle, you might like this one. I do wish that in the future, I wish they could make a daylight version or at least a wax melt when it comes to the reserve candles, because I would hate for anyone to purchase this one in a full size and then get it and kind of be bummed out by the scent like I am. But also a lot of the reserve candles, especially the really popular, more gourmand type fragrances, they tend to sell out very quickly. So I don't know, but I would like to see Kringle do something so that people can have an opportunity to experience these reserve fragrances without the commitment of, you know, paying $34 for a full-sized fragrance that might not really float their boat, if that makes sense. All that being said, this does give off a good performance. So if you like this one, it's fairly potent, I will say. I'm not going to put the strength at like an 8 or anything like that, but it's definitely kind of playing in the 7 to 8 range in terms of strength. Thankfully, though, it's not one that seems to travel a long way, which is kind of interesting given how strong it is. But it really doesn't go a whole lot beyond the given space that I've put it in. I have burned this in the front formal living room. I've burned it in the family room as well as on our kitchen island. And it really seems to mostly linger in the room where I have it. I'll smell a little bit, if I have it on the kitchen island, for example, I will smell it in the family room. That whole back part of our house is just like this big, wide open concept area. So, you know, the fragrances should travel pretty easily into the family room, but I feel like I'm only kind of getting hints of this in the family room. It's okay for me with this one because, like I said, the fragrance itself doesn't really float my boat. But that being said, I would put if I were to give the throw a number, I don't know, maybe like a 5. Yeah, I'd give it about a 5. So, burn issues. Well, this is an area where I have, you know, like I don't have any complaints. It certainly has been burning very easily. In fact, I just lit this about 20 minutes ago. And I'm gonna turn it to the side. You guys take a look at this wax pool. Like this one pulls out pretty quickly for me every time that I've had it lit. I'm hoping that you can see, yeah, you can kind of see the liquefied part here jiggling away. But after like 20 minutes, like it's given me darn near close to at least almost an inch of wax. Now, if I let it go a whole lot longer, I get like a solid inch plus wax pull from this one. The wicks are great. As you can see, they are dancing around inside of there. And I will give you an overhead shot of this one because sometimes when it comes to the spicier scents, the wax can get discolored. But I don't think that's happening with this one. So let's take a peek in there really quickly. Let the camera focus. you can see that the wax is still that nice creamy white color. It does not have like a tinge to it at all. But sorry, I have this tripod that I'm trying to get out of the way of here so that we can get a more accurate look. But yeah, nice tall flames. I have been trimming these wicks not super aggressively. I've just been clipping off the very top part. Let me turn this around and get the camera to focus here. Yeah, I've just been you know, trimming off that little kind of like hard nub that forms at the top. And then I just have been going. So I don't know that ultimately I'm going to finish this one. I think this is one of those candles that I will put into my give to a friend pile. I've mentioned this before here on my channel. Any candles that I don't really like, especially ones that are sent to me in PR, and this one was, just so you guys are aware, I will usually gift those to friends and family if I don't really care for the scent. I always make sure to review the candles, but I don't always necessarily finish them if they are not something that I really personally enjoy. Now, I do have another fragrance from this collection that is kind of similar in that it's a little bit masculine and perfumey, but I honestly like that other scent a lot more than this one. I don't know what it is here, but this one just didn't do it for me, obviously. So we're gonna put this in the give to a friend pile, and I have a feeling that neighbor Andy is probably gonna pick this one out. Both him and his wife really like cinnamon heavy fragrances, especially around the holidays. So I think they're really gonna enjoy this one. So I'll let you know what Andy thinks about it. I should start getting Andy's feedback. He takes a lot of my candles. So yeah, maybe once he gets this one, I'll bug him and see if he has any feedback on it. But anyway, you guys, let me know if you have any questions about this one. I will go ahead and link where you can find it over at Kringle Candle in the description box down below. I will put a discount code down there that'll save you 15% at Kringle Candle. So feel free to use that affiliate link if you want to save yourself a little bit of money. No pressure from me. Obviously this one's not going to be a repurchase for me, but I do really appreciate Kringle sending this one out. So, all right, you guys, like I said, there's 2 more in-depth reviews coming, so stay tuned for those. And I really appreciate you being here. Give this video a thumbs up if you found it helpful. Share it with your friends who are Kringle candle fans, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care. Toodaloo.